What's going on YouTube? Q back here again with another video for you. Today's video, back at City of Cars, here to give you the 1 year update on my ZL1. So technically it's for sale, but it's still my car and it's still a year later. So I got a rundown on how the maintenance has been, my ownership experience for the first year of ownership on the car. So we'll get into that in this video. Also, shout out to City of Cars. They're like family here. Always selling cars. They're selling my car for me. Check it out, citycars.com. I'll have it linked below. And my other favorite car that's here, the Civic Si, is about to be moving, the Canadian spec. This car was slept on, man. This is a steal of a car, the Civic Si for the Canadian spec here in the US. It's about to go off with the new owner going from NYC. That's what we're going to be doing for this video, Camaro ownership. So before you leave the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, browse the channel. Let's hop into it. The ZL1 22 Rapid Blue. Ordered this to my spec. Carbon fiber on the hood. Got the red seat belts on there. Sunroof, had to have the sunroof. Aftermarket spoiler. Got a few more mods and I'll talk about those in a little bit. But let me get a cold start on this thing. I haven't heard my baby in so long. And it's all detailed now, so it's all cleaned up. But let me get that cold start. First time we heard this in a long time, cold start. Shout out to Tara. Tara's my girl. She got a Camaro as well. She got the MR2 version 3 coming to her car. And I got the MR2 version 3 for this, so shout out to MRT, check out their website. I'll put the link in the description below for that as well. Use my code Q10, save 10%. Get one of these, here it is. Had to hit y'all with the baby revs because this is a place of business. Can't be too loud in here. We got cars to sell. But yeah, that's it. The MR2, the version 3 has no mufflers. It has the H-pipe as well. And the version 2, it does have mufflers. So I got the more extreme version of the exhaust. So let's take a walk around the car as best as we can. It's packed up in here. I would love to get you all on another drive of this car, but it's been detailed and the roads aren't ideal, especially for the summer tires. Really can't do it. So squeezing around here, and this is what drew me into the car, the color alone. Blueprint had said, he had showed a picture on his Instagram. This is my favorite angle, by the way, and I'm like, whoa, what is that? It was at the Dream Cruise. They had a manufacturer plate, came straight from GM. They said it would be a new color. I ordered shortly after. Carbon fiber on the gas cap as well, and one of my favorite ones, the 3M calipers down there, they're reflective. And that wing. Black tips on the MRT exhaust as well. So one thing about this Camaro, 1 year of ownership, it's such a great car. I just love everything about it. That is the Race Car Friends joke. Shout out to Race Car Friends. I'm wearing his merch right now. Did you guys see his Tacoma video? This man had us in the back of his pickup truck, giving a point of view. All we saw was like this part of his head and his arm. I'm like, come on, man, get on the camera. Thankfully, he fixed it up in the next video. So shout out to Race Car Friends. Shout out to the MOC, the Men of Culture. Also, aside from Race Car Friends who's in that crew, it's myself, Blueprint, and 100 Gang Nate. So check out all of our channels. They're feature channels. They're the first 3 feature channels on my channel. So go check them out, subscribe to them as well. So back to business. The Camaro, it is an expensive car to maintain. But thankfully, I have not had to pay pretty much anything on this car aside from oil changes. I had about 3. First one's free, and the second one, I think I might have paid out of pocket, but it was $180. Third one, I used the Chevy gives you reward points for purchasing the vehicle. I got like 3 or 4 Chevys under my belt, so I can probably get free oil change for the next couple years. So I just use those to pay for it. So there's that, oil changes. But what can go wrong on these cars, or what will need to be maintained if you keep it for longer than what I have. So my car is at 9,300 miles. So brakes and rotors, should those wear out or should those warp, they're very pricey. The OEM is about $4 grand for the parts, and I don't even know if that includes labor, but same thing as the SS1LEs as well. So you got some mass of these rotors and brakes. These are big, not as big as those RS7s that I saw, but you got some big brakes and rotors, and those are pricey. Also, while I'm down here, the tires are expensive. Have a tire warranty, and I had to replace the 2 rears already due to nails. So got 2 brand new tires on the rears. Tire warranty is definitely a good investment because it will pay for itself very fast. So I had 2 tire issues within a couple of months, and these tires, depending on where you get them from, will range from like $380 to like $450. I had to pay out of pocket for one because I didn't have the warranty, but I ended up getting the warranty afterwards with the cam when I got 5,000 miles on the car. Paid $800 for the warranty, and I'm covered for 3 years, whatever it may be, whatever set of wheels I have on the tire or the car, as long as it's OEM spec-ish. Can be aftermarket, but it has to be to the OEM spec. And it's just listening. Let's take a look at the inside real quick. I haven't been in here in so long. Don't hit the back. We good. Still hit it though. So got the Alcantara around here. It's micro suede. It's probably not real leather, but that's what they do nowadays. Most manufacturers are moving to an animal cruelty-free form of materials in the cars. Red seat belts, one of the favorite things of the interior, and I keep my interior ambient lighting set to purple because that's my color. And just being inside of here, it's a little tight, so I can see how I can intimidate somebody with the visibility, because normally my camera doesn't fit the whole windshield in here, but I can see the dash and the ceiling. Man, these papers down there, but yeah, I miss it in here. It smells great too. Oh, carbon fiber over there as well. And now it's all spick and span. It is very cold. Let me open my sunroof. There we go. Gotta open that up. Let some light in. But yeah, it's all clean, super clean. Smells great in here. Shout out to the detailing company. So I was fortunate enough to take this thing to the track about 2 times this past year, or last year now, and thing performs. It is a lot of car for the track though. So 650 horsepower, got a sublime chassis, but this car, I need a bigger track to really eke out all the performance. Because on these tracks with a lot of turns, slower speeds, like where people can only average like 114, 115, this car isn't even anywhere near being pushed, as it's nowhere near its full potential. So I noticed that about the car, because I wasn't even squealing the tires. So it was just like going through the motions driving this thing on the track. You can like turn off all the electrical nannies and do that, slide around to have fun, but as far as just keeping your lines and trying to get the best times, like the car doesn't get. Like, it's not being pushed at all. This part of the video is dedicated to my guy Keith, my friend, my car show buddy. He's got the 50 Camaro. We did the video together. He always clowns me about under my hood, like, man, what's all that dirt? Keith, my friend, we are clean. I can eat off of my engine bay now. Shout out to Chevy for putting hood struts on here, because why wouldn't you put hood struts on any car, especially if they cost 70 grand. Another thing about the Camaro with the tints, so I have 35% all the way around, even on the windshield. And yeah, my lights turn on early because not enough lights gets in the windshield, and the sensor sits right in the front of the windshield, and it will be sunny outside or about dusk, and my lights will turn on prematurely when there's enough light out. So I wouldn't go too dark on the tint. It looks great, but I would do like maybe a 55%. I think you can do 55 on the windshield, which how my Integra is not as dark, but at least I can see and my lights don't turn on too early. But man, I do love the looks. My Mustang had the same tint as well, the 55%. So if your side windows are darker, so if I would do it again, I would either keep 35 or go maybe even 20% and do 55 on the windshield. So the darker the side windows are, the darker the front will appear. So I think that would be better. So I had a great year with the Camaro. Met a lot of great people. Networking has been tremendous for this year with the Camaro, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. Even though I'm selling the car, that's not a knock against the car. So it's still a phenomenal car, still the greatest car that I have ever owned. It could be the greatest car that I will ever own, unless I get a ZL1 1LE, because I do prefer it to the Corvettes. But this is just a lot of car. And the only reason I'm selling is because of who I am as a person. Nothing to do with the car. So it's just time for a change. Phenomenal car. the greatest car that I have ever owned, it's kind of hard to go up from there as well too, because where do you go from here unless you get something like a newer one of those? What's the 458? Somewhere back here. So the Camaros are a very reliable car. They don't have many problems. Someone kept spamming the same thing, saying the oil coolers. That's not an issue on the newer ones. That was the first model year problem. And Xander 13, I think that happened to him to where he had to get some significant engine work, but that's not a problem on the modern ones. So yeah, no issues. Reliable car, surprisingly easy to work on. Check out Blueprint 1 LE's channel. He does a lot of do-it-yourselfs. And something that is about to come up for a maintenance check on here is the rear differential fluid change. And that is very easy. You can do that in your own garage with a couple of tools. So oil changes you can do yourself easily as well. And that's kind of all you need on these things until you get to the tires and rotors, which are very pricey. But everything else can be had for cheap, even though the oil costs more than conventional oil, but it's not that bad for the amount of car that you get. You get supercar performance for basic car maintenance pretty much, minus the brakes. So that's what I'm going to leave you here with today. 1 year ownership on the ZL1. I had 1 year ownership on the SS1 LE. Both, they drive very similarly. Obviously this one has more power. With more power comes more responsibility. You got to be a better driver to drive the ZL1. The SS1 LE is a more composed car. You can drive it more at its limits than you can the ZL1. I don't even think it takes a lot of space to get this thing at its limit. Can't lie, it's very hard to do that because it's a lot of car, and it's designed such to where you can just make the performance on like professional tracks. This is no novice car, but not everybody likes the track, and it is what it is. People like power. So there we have it. 1 year with the ZL1, phenomenal car, highly recommended. This and SS1 LE are my highest recommended cars that have been on the channel that I have personally owned. My favorite two cars, the Camaro, the Alpha platform, and even the CT4V Blackwing. Well, this is the CT4V, not the Blackwing edition, but this Alpha chassis, they both share the same chassis, and the CT5. It's just a phenomenal chassis. So if you haven't driven one, check it out. They handle amazingly. So I'm going to leave you all with that. Q here checking out. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, browse the channel, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out.